Hello, good afternoon. This is an unannounced, unplanned live on this Saturday, the 7th of June. It is 5 minutes past 4 in the afternoon UK time, and um, and I decided to come here and have a live as I do every Saturday. However, I didn't schedule it, and so I really don't know if anyone's going to show up. But I thought I will show up anyway, so that at least if people are not here live, they have something to maybe replay, watch afterwards if they have interest in such things. So I'm going to just talk to myself, and hopefully, if there's any one of you watching ready to ask me anything, please do so. I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on YouTube and TikTok to talk about anything to do with mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, psychology, human behavior, relationships, anything at all related to the mind is what I'm about. And I do my best to use my free time to spread a bit of Didi's love out there. And so if you want to ask me anything at all, I will do my best to give you some specific answer and recommendation that hopefully you can take action on to change any aspect of your life. So, hello, whoever it is. I'm going to get started as I normally do by reading and commenting on some of the posts that I put out on TikTok and YouTube. Let me see. I had a quite busy and chaotic week, so I don't know where I am, but let's try this one, a political one. People pleasers cannot accept that some family members may reject them because of political difference, because nothing is more important to them than playing happy family. And so lately there's been a lot of political tension in families uh, in many places of the world, but especially in the UK and in America, in the USA. And I saw a lot of posts of people saying, "Be grown up. You should not turn your back on your family members or argue with them just because they support someone that you don't endorse." And this is gaslighting. People do what they want. You don't have to tell people what to do and what are the course of action in regards to people who don't agree with them politically, even if it's a family. I think that it's absolutely legit to not want to see anyone, regardless of who they are, if you disagree with them politically, because politics is a big part of our life. It basically represents all of our belief, all of our values, what is the most important things to us. And so there you go. Anyone who's going to tell you, don't be such a baby, don't be so childish, grow up, and get along with everyone just because we're family. To me, they are just ignoring your feelings essentially, and I don't think it's a good thing to do. And I don't believe that they do it. No one does anything on purpose, but I believe that they do this they because they are people pleasers, because they come from dysfunctional families, or maybe they are having a sort of dynamic in their own family. And so there you go. Another one that is also a little bit political goes like this. Men often use banter with other men to subconsciously signal who is the dominant alpha male. And so basically, what we don't realize is that when men laugh at each other, and there's always a bit of, ha ha ha, you fat, you bald, you ginger, you da 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 da, you're so skinny, you so. It's actually a subconscious attempt to kind of dominate others, to tell others who's the alpha, essentially, which is very, very, again, I believe, unnecessary in our days and age if you have some understanding of the human mind. Um, um, Next post goes like this. Something a bit more not poetical. Resilience doesn't mean accepting and normalizing disappointment and stress. Resilience is your ability to get back on your feet. Use it to create a better life for yourself, not to accept a life with no joy. And so basically, when it comes to resilience, people think you must be strong. Life is hard. You must plow through it, and you must be relentless and be brave and keep getting back on your feet. But people don't realize that when it comes to resilience, a lot of people have accepted a life that we don't like. They think The problem is not that life is not the life that I want. The problem is that I'm not good enough at living that life that I don't want. Instead of actually realizing that resilience is something that we have anyway. It's our ability to get back on our feet. We all get back on our feet. It's the speed at which we get back on our feet, more precisely. And so what we want to do is to actually create a better life for us, as opposed to accepting a life that is, but trying to be hard and strong to live that life. Another one that is a little bit political as well, and it goes like this. People hate vegans because of the uncomfortable cognitive dissonance they bring. Despite the rational mind trying to rationalize eating meat, the emotional mind still knows full well and fears how cruel it is for the animals. And so we have two minds, emotional and conscious mind. And there's often a tug of war. There's a discrepancy. There's what we feel is right or wrong and what we think is right or wrong. So when it comes to eating meat, a lot of meat eaters, if they listen to their body, if they listen to their heart, they know that it's wrong. It's very simple. You don't want to see a sentient suffering. But they have created a cognitive dissonance because that's what they do. They like to eat meat. It's easier for them. And also maybe it represents their tribe, their family, their traditions. And so they will actually be able to love their pet at home, but have no problem contributing to the killing and the torture of all the animals that they eat. And that's why we don't hate the vegans. That's why we hate vegans, because the vegans bring back that feeling in their body, that cognitive dissonance is being challenged in that moment. And so there you go. Something that is maybe more useful to you guys. Listen to this. Repeated exposure to negative content on social media trains the brain for stress. Positive input builds resilience. Design your algorithm to support your mental health, not to make your life harder. So basically this is saying that whatever you entertain in your mind, you are actually being better at. Yeah. Everything is a skill. Everything is something that we reinforce by virtue of repetition. Whether we do something or whether we don't do something, the more we do something, the better we become at doing that thing. The less we do something, the better we become at not doing that thing. Your brain is constantly adapting to everything. And so when it comes to social media, if you are watching some news that are bad, for instance, and you allow for the algorithm to give you more of that, now you have created a world of doom and gloom, and the social media is going to make your life much, much harder, because you're going to believe that everything is in a state of disarray, there's no hope, people are all horrible, and that is not helpful to anyone. And so I'm not saying don't watch news, but understand that there's a difference between your FYP page on TikTok, for instance, and the things that you follow. And so know that you can actually alter and design a better algorithm for you by watching things of the people that you have interest about that are not negative stuff. So if you do that, then your algorithm will give you more of the things that are productive, that are useful, that are positive to your mind and to your life. That's it. Okay, let me see if there's any comments so far. We have Henrik Crunchy. Hello, Henrik. Henrik said hi. Hi. Thank you. Hello. I didn't ignore you. I just wanted to get the flow going a little bit before I addressed the comments. Zesty Ferry. Hi. Hello, Zesty Ferry. Kay Stevens. Hi. Hello, Kay. Kay Stevens, you are going to have a busy day today. Am I? All right. Okay. What makes you say this? Is it because it's gray and everyone don't want to go outside, perhaps? Mira said hi. Hello, Mira. Mira, you're so right about that. Thank you for making others conscious about it. Which part are you talking about? Is it the vegans part? Is it about the social media, training our brain to be more negative or positive part? Which one is it, please? Alex Cheshire Tech. Your vegan content is great, but very quiet. Get a cheap label, mic for clearer sound. I'm not vegan. I talk about mental health, and vegan is a topic that is very important to me because I care for the animals. And I used to be vegetarian for a couple of years, but I've chosen to have meat again for personal reasons. And at this point in time, it's easier for me. Now, I may change again, I don't know. But for me, it's not about vegans versus non-vegans. It's about talking about any aspect of our life from the psychological perspective, so that people understand others and self better. In regards to the mic, you're right. I need to get a mic, and I will. I decided to do my research. I bought one already, but it didn't work. So I'm going to get myself another one. So please bear with me. There's one on the way. I mean, I'm going to order it in a few days' time. I'm not very good with buying stuff. I'm quite pragmatic, and to me, shopping is a bit of a waste of time. I wished I had someone who did those things for me. And so yes, I need to do some thorough research to make sure that I don't buy the wrong thing again, and then hopefully by next month, I will have a new mic. Not just yet, because I need to buy it. I need to wait for it and to learn how to use it. So so basically, if you can bear with me, this is me at this point in time. Everyone seems to be happy. I've been doing some live for a while. I know that the sound is not tip top, but I believe that it's good enough because I've got a lot of positive feedback. So hopefully, it will be good enough for you. And if not, come back in July, and hopefully you'll be satisfied. And if not, you know what? I wish you all the best. It's life. But thank you for your feedback, nevertheless. Kay Stevens, because of your honesty. Okay, honesty about what? About what? Mira, both parts actually. All right, okay, you appreciate both comments. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like me to address, guys? Serving my Redeemer. Is it about surrender and application for the better joy once found? I don't know what it means. What does that mean, what you just said? Surrender and application for the better joy once found. What is the better joy once found? What does that mean? I don't understand this. Sorry. I'm talking about anything at all. So basically, if you're asking me, again, I'm a therapist and coach. I am more precisely a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist. And I come here to talk about the mind, reality, spirituality, if you want, but also a lot of psychology. It's really about realizing that we are all limited by our mind, and our reality is literally something that is happening inside of our head. And so, if we can understand that, then we can change any aspect of our life. If we can understand ourselves, if we can understand others, then life is much easier, and really, there's not a single aspect of our life that is not affected by our mind. And that's why, to me, it's the most important skill to understand and to practice the understanding of ourselves. Right? Kay Stevens, about delayed gratification and patience. So you're saying because of my honesty about delayed gratification and patience. Okay, I don't know what you're referring. I know, I understand what you say. I understand. I'm reading the first comment again. You say you're going to have a busy day today because of your honesty about delayed gratification and patience. All right, thank you very much. Yes. So I'm learning how to basically, it's not about, yeah, I understand what you mean. To me, it's not about delayed gratification. To me, it's more about understanding that there are systems in place, and I need to learn how to understand how they work. And so with YouTube, when I start, it does take time for people to come in, and we can only do our best. So instead of me being frustrated because things are not happening the way I want to, I'm just going to accept that this is the way it is. And this is a lesson we can all apply in our lives. Sometimes we want things to be right here and now in the way we want it, and we forget that we don't have much input about much things, really. And so the best thing to do is to focus on what feels right to us and see what happens one moment at a time, I think. But thank you, Kay, anyway. Mira, do you think we are deliberately kept unconscious? We are not kept unconscious. It's the way the mind works. So unless you mean by society, in that case, yes, society understands psychology. And everything that it does is to condition us and to use our human condition to manipulate us emotionally. So if you look at shops, for instance, whatever that you buy, all the marketing stuff in supermarket, in clothing retailers, shops, on the internet, it's all designed to manipulate our emotional programs that they understand very well, but we all have the same. So if you buy something online, for instance, they're going to say, you're so lucky with this discount. It used to be that price, now it's that price, but only for a limited amount of time. And now we're going to start to flash a countdown. So now psychologically we're thinking, oh, it's very special, it's such a good deal. And now we're under pressure, and a lot of people end up clicking because of that, because they understand that. But if you go back on that website, it's always the same time going back. So it's really a cheap trick. However, it's one of the many, many different things that exist to get people to consume. If you go in shops, the lighting, the temperature, the smell, all of those things are well designed so that you know exactly how people are going to feel within which aisle, and what is going to be the reaction. Some stuff are going to be impulsed by eye level, even I was watching something about the cornflakes. Cornflakes for adults are positioned in a certain way so that they are seen by the adults. Cornflakes for kids, all the cartoons character on the boxes, they look down because the kids are shorter. So when the kids they go in the supermarket, they can see the tiger, the panda bear, or whatever animal looking down on them, saying hello with a big smile. That's the one they want. And so they understand all of those things. And this is only from the marketing perspective. Now, government, politicians, newspapers, medias, they do understand that very well as well. And so when they talk about things, they frame any story to create propaganda to turn something into an emotion. And so they're going to typically target those who are different, the immigrants, the foreigners, the woke, the people who are supporting Palestine, all of those things. But do you condemn Hamas? Those sort of things. And we all know now, thanks to TikTok, the truth. But before that, we didn't realize that everything about the news, everything about the media is mind manipulation and control. Everything about everything, culture, school, the things that were being taught that is allowed by the whole of the society, all of those things are designed to get us to think in a certain way and to feel a certain way, so that people who are at the bottom are very angry all the time. And if we're angry, if we're unsatisfied, if we're unhappy, we're easily manipulated. Because we're in a state of survival. If I'm struggling to survive, to pay my bills, and I'm being told it's always because of the neighbors, it's because of them, it's because of the trans people, it's because of whatever, then we won't, when we're in a state of survival, we don't have access to our rational mind as much, because you're in a survival, state of survival. And so you need to react intuitively, instinctively, with what is inbuilt there in terms of primal reactions. So you don't have access. The brain, intelligence is a luxury. And that's why so many people get into believing that Trump is a good guy, that Brexit was a good idea, that Nigel Farage and Toby Robinsons are fantastic people that care for the people of Great Britain, or any of those things. And it's an old trope that has been used since the dawn of humanity. And it's all psychological stuff. It's understanding that if you want a population to hate, if you keep people who are unhappy into a state of unhappiness, then you can do whatever you want with them. And if you get them to hate the others within some people as them, like people of colors, disabled people, whatever, ginger, whoever, fat people, overweight people, I should say, really. But that's how they stay into that state, and they don't think about addressing the real problems, which are the people at the top. And so we're going to typically create a state of disgust. If I can get those people to be disgusted by a whole group of people, then it's going to be easy for them to develop hatred out of this. So typically, that's why we have Islamophobia, for instance, and that's why we have transphobia, and so forth and so on. But anyway, I don't know if that's what you wanted to know, but that's what came out of my mind. And so, yes, mirror, we are deliberately kept in the matrix, if that's what you mean. Serving my Redeemer, to get aside those things less important and pursue those things that bring you joy. All right, okay. So yes, but again, so I understand what you mean. And it's true that there's a lot of things, again, created by society to distract us, to numb us, to keep us looking in the wrong place, like scrolling, all of those things. And it's better to go in nature, enjoy ourselves, eat healthy food, connect with people, be creative, and all those things, of course. However, people don't really choose that. What we need to realize is that if people are being caught into habits of doing things like drinking alcohol, getting pissed every weekend, doing all the things that are not serving their well-being, it's because they're overwhelmed. It's because they don't know what else to do. And so instead of telling people this is what you should be doing, I believe that it would be better to say, okay, let's talk about you. How do you feel? What gets you to feel like that so that you have to do that thing instead? Right? And this is the whole purpose of what I do. I don't criticize anyone because I understand that we all come from a good place as far as we are concerned. So we want to be helpful. We project what we think people should know and should be doing. But it's really important to realize that everything that we do is all down to our subconscious emotional setup. And so no one does anything really out of choice until they meet someone that can maybe help them realize that they are doing something automatically and they have actually other choices and options than that. I hope it makes sense. But I agree with you, serving my Redeemer. It's true that there's a lot of bad habits out there, and it would be a good thing for people to realize that they have other options than that. Mira, yes, I mean by society, they're great at manipulating. Yes, so we agree. So this is what I guessed and I talked about. So yeah, there you go. So everything about society is designed to keep us in a certain state. And now, thanks to TikTok, thanks to internet, thanks to Google, we have so much more information at hand. And the new generation knows and understands, and now there's AI as well. And so now the truth is out there. So this is not going to work any longer, I believe. And we can see this with what is happening in Palestine, for instance. There's been a huge shift in public awareness and sentiment over this situation in the Middle East. Alex Cheshire Tech, really interested, subscribed, oh, thank you very much, and hooked up an external speaker to hear better. Fantastic, Alex, thank you so much. So bear with me, I will get that mic for sure, Badger, I promised. Thank you for this. Serving my Redeemer, buy one, get one free. If you, yes, that's it. So this is the thing, buy one, get one free, book off, all of those things that are absolutely designed to manipulate or pulsions or impulses, I mean. And so yes, if you end up paying twice as much buying two, yeah. They make up prices, for instance, something that is that price, they say, okay, this is worth that much. So now that much seems actually quite good. Everything is relative, right? If you, let's say, buy a pair of glasses, if a pair of Ray-Ban, that could be, I don't know, a pair of glasses that is 200 quid. If you go to Boots, 200 quid is very expensive for a pair of glasses. But if you go to a luxury shop, I don't know, Gucci, whatever, it's nothing. It's like a bargain. It's even too cheap to be good. And so everything is contextual. And this is only one example of many, but it's true that everything about television, about media, everything is propaganda. Everything is brainwashing. Everything is to dictate your mood. Who you're going to love, who you're going to hate, who you're going to support, what you're going to believe. It's always been the case. And before television, there was religion. All right. So again, very importantly, I'm not dissing religion. I'm dissing how some people use religion for political purpose. I believe that there are some people who can use their religion in a good way that is empowering for them and their community. But sadly, more often than not, it's not the case. And the way it all started was precisely to control people. Religion was a system that was created to manipulate people through guilt and shame, because there's such things as sins, and there's no savior, and there's hell waiting for you for sure. So people had to behave in certain ways, and they've been conditioned to believe in all those things. And so there you go. There's always been some sort of mind manipulation from people who understood basic psychology, really. Mr. Dutch, do you watch the news? I don't watch the BBC, the big news anymore. Since October the 7th, I stopped. because they're all liars. They disgust me. I really understand how it's all been lies. I've been lied to all my life. I remember when they talked about Palestine in the 80s when I was much younger, and they would say, it's complicated. Back to when I was in France. I wanted to understand, but it was all complicated. There was no source of information. There's no internet. Only people think that it's complicated. And so I believed, but it was complicated for decades until we realized that there was nothing complicated about it. And so I don't watch the big media. I do, however, use TikTok, Instagram, essentially to watch what is going on, YouTube, and it's actually much better because now you have a lot of different perspective, a broader picture, and things happening in real time, and you have also things coming up from the people, as opposed to journalists who are corrupt or biased, and so there you go. And I do watch, but only to a certain amount. There's a limit. I don't watch too much because I remember when the situation in Palestine started like more than a year ago, I was obsessed, and it really affected my mental health because I was so depressed to see all those horrible things happening and not being able to do anything about it, and realizing the corruption, realizing the control of all the media, even Hollywood. The whole of Hollywood is all propaganda machine, and I never realized this until then. I always felt there was something wrong. Like in the 90s, there was that movie called Independence Day. Oh, America! And that made me sick. I was like, gosh, really? Oh, come on, guys. But somehow everyone was like, yeah, because people have been conditioned to believe those things. And again, you know, in those movies, Arabs were always seen and portrayed as the baddies, and it's terrible. There's that phrase, I think it's Allah Akbar or something like that. And because of Hollywood, people believe that it's connected to terrorism. Whereas in the language, it actually means bless God or something like that. And it's a beautiful sentence that they use in holy place. I mean, in their mosque when they pray. And so, because of that, I don't watch the news. I do follow YouTube and TikTok. This is the new generation, and there's going to be new things. And also, I limit myself. I don't spend my days watching those things because otherwise I know, because of my conditions, that it would bring me back to a place of darkness and anger. And there's no point to that. And so I keep aware of what is going on with a little dose every day, and that's it. And I think that's how you should be doing this. Kay Stevens, about understanding others and not taking how we feel personally. Okay, and some have not worked through their anger and blame others for it. Okay, we all have our baggage, so it can be anger, it could be other things, but it's true. But we don't want to blame them. There's a very big misconception. People are choosing to stay angry. People are choosing not to heal. People are choosing not to change, and we don't choose. We do what we can based on our emotional state in this moment, based on our history and what happened to us and our baggage and our limitations and our trauma and our belief system. And so it's true that people may come across as such, but it's not like that. And I know that because I was one of them. Again, I've got my own conditions. I'm okay now, but I suffered from a lot of anger myself with borderline personality disorder and ADHD, for instance, and my trauma. I used to be super reactive. I used to lash out all the time. I used to be quite petty and vindictive. I was very negative, very depressed and anxious, and I changed. But back then, even though I knew that I was not a nice person, I couldn't change anything about it. I just couldn't, because I didn't know how to. No one has taught me how to be kind, how to be patient, how to be tolerant, how to be open-minded. I didn't have any of those notions for a long time. And so we don't want to blame people. We want to understand the psychology behind it. Some people, for instance, can never accept that they're wrong. Right? And we're thinking, they're so stubborn, they're so arrogant. And the truth is that this is true, that this is how we come across, right? Everything is contextual. And so for everyone else, this is how we come across. But from their perspective, maybe someone is going to not be able to accept that they are wrong because they've been so traumatized they've been traumatized when they were childhood because something happened, and they connected being wrong with punishment, with shame, with rejection, with total neglect and ignorance and dismissal from the parents. And so now, those people, they can never accept that they're wrong, not because they don't want to, but because they are traumatized. They still are connected to that place of shame and punishment when they're a child. And so if you can understand that, now we may actually have compassion and empathy for them and find a different way to communicate with them, and maybe we can have more chance to reach them with that sort of energy. Maybe not, but at least there's more chances than trying to say, oh, you're wrong, because it's going to reinforce this. It's the same thing with people who lie, for instance. A lot of people are criticized for lying. You're a bad person if you lie. But some people just lie because it's the only system they have created to survive back then. And they haven't changed that. And it's just a habit that's coming back. And it's happening subconsciously, emotionally. They don't think about it. But they lie to either protect themselves, because it's easier to avoid any potential trouble, or to just be accepted, to be seen, to be loved. So everything that we judge in society is because, again, of the system of right and wrong, so all the religious dogmas. And because of that, we judge ourselves and we judge others all the time. But if you could understand that none of the things that we do, none of our behavior are ever a choice. They're just the natural thing that we do because of everything that happened to us up to this point. Then we can understand the individual, we can understand the person, we can understand ourselves. We can let go of shame, we can let go of guilt, we can let go of division, better people, lesser people, right and wrong, good or bad. We can let go of all that illusion, we can start to reconnect with ourselves and with people, because we understand that we're all the same and we're all the result of our birth, upbringing, genetics, environment, influences, belief system. All of those things are making us, and we never chose any of those things. None of us. I hope it makes sense. Meo Gang, television. Television. Thank you, Meo Gang. Yes, I agree with you. Meo Gang, I have a lot of trauma stored in my body. Help. Okay, we can talk about this if you want. What sort of trauma are we talking about? Do you have an idea of what they are, and in which way are they troubling you in your life? In which form are they manifesting themselves in your life? Mira, what do you think is the most important in a healing journey? Aha. The most important thing in a healing journey is to realize that it's a journey. We don't want to expect to be in a certain way. I want to come from a place of non-pain I want to come from a place of pain to a place of non-pain. The journey is about you discovering yourself and basically absorbing and letting go of the things that you need to absorb or let go at your own pace when it's meant to happen. And so we never go to a place of, I'm not happy, to everything is perfect. The healing journey is not about going to a place where everything is going to be always fine, where you never suffer, where you never have any bad people in your life, any problems. Healing is about understanding that life has ups and downs for everyone. It will happen to every single one of us, no matter what we've been through, no matter what our status is in society, or what we do, or our culture, or any of those things. We all have ups and downs, and healing is the ability to accept that and to know that we have coping mechanism. We can deal with those things. It's okay. It's not a problem. We will all have ups and downs. However, when I'm healed, I accept that, and I'm okay with that, because I have some tools that I can use in those moments. That's the difference, as opposed to expecting for everything to be different. And also, we want to focus on the journey, as in focus on the progress. Very often what I see is that people who are on a healing journey, they are being unkind to themselves. What's wrong with me? It's so hard. I'm still unhappy. It doesn't work. There's something wrong about me. I should be happier. I should be better. And now while we're doing this, we're practicing self-blame, and we are reinforcing the shame and the guilt, and we are making things much, much harder. And what we want really is to be kind to yourself. And so, to answer your question, I'd say, remember that it's a journey. Focus on the journey, not the outcome, and be kind to yourself. That's it. That are, in my eyes, what I believe I would recommend when we start a healing journey. Mira. Kay, you said it Right or wrong is subjective. Yes, absolutely. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yes, there's no right, there's no wrong. There's only our judgment. And everything is contextual. And so within a context, there's a right and there's a wrong. Within a specific place and time and situation that abide by a code, set of rules, yes, there's right and wrong. But there's no universal right and wrong. There's no universal good or bad. There's only what it is in regards to the position of the observer. So basically, whoever watches it will have a different perspective because of their very position and their filters, the belief that they have about that situation. And so if you look at the state of the universe, in the universe, everything happens all the time and everything is connected to everything else. And so this is why we talk about the butterfly and the hurricane effect. The flip of the wing of a butterfly may create a chain of reaction that somehow has some input into a hurricane on the other side of the globe. And basically, what it means is that everything is connected, and because the universe wants to expand itself, it's got to go through ups and downs. It's got to go through destruction in order to have a rebirth and create new stuff and to adapt and to adjust and to recalibrate. And so this is the principles of the yin and the yang, black and white. The main thing about that system is that we must realize that black is not bad, white is not good. They're just opposite forces, like positive, negative with electricity or electromagnetism, and they are both working together so that there's something. And it is that tug of war that is creating everything in the universe and expansion. If everything is good and happy and the same, nothing happens. There's no expansion. And so there needs to be some bad, some chaos for that, so that the universe can actually learn how to adjust itself and recalibrate and grow out of those things and become better. Right? And so if you look at everything, things are just happening and they're the continuation of other things. And we just happen to be here. And people who are there, who are seemingly hurting us, they also happen to be there. And they have their own things happening, going on for them. But if we look at things from the position of the ego, it's me, 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 me. I'm the center of the world. They are horrible to me. They hurt me. They are bad people. I must punish them. I must destroy them. Whereas if you can realize we're all human, we're all doing our best, we're all discovering ourselves in this reality, then things are much easier because we can realize that even though, of course, we want to create a space between us and people who are toxic, at least we don't want to believe that they are doing this because of us. They're doing this because of them, because it's their story, it's their adventure to go through. And it's got nothing to do with us. And so everything is much lighter, and we can then focus on ourselves as opposed to focusing on them, fear, enemies, others. Headbutting bullet. I have friends I know only use me and talk about me behind my back. Are you sure they're friends? I keep them because I am lonely. Should I just cut them off? Do I need to confront them when I know they will be fake to me? So it's more about you. Why are you doing this? Right? You know that they're fake. You know that that's because you believe that they're all that you deserve. At a subconscious level, you say to yourself, I'm lonely, but I can't have anyone, so I need them. And you believe that you need them because there's a further belief that says, this is all that I deserve. This is all that I can get. I cannot get better than that. That's all that is available to me. Other people can get better, but not me. That's all that I deserve. And that's because of the things that happened to you in childhood that has created this belief in you. And so probably you don't have much love. Maybe you're rejected. Maybe you're bullied. Maybe you're ignored. And so because of that, you have created that sense of self-thinking, I am different than other people. People, they can meet people easily and be friends and be loyal to each other and be kind and supportive to each other, but not me. This is not available to me because of what happened to me. So it's all a subconscious mechanism process. But then because of that, now you believe that about yourself and you're allowing those things to happen. And you're not only allowing those things to happen, but also you are inviting them, attracting them. You know that you're inviting in your life people who don't care about you and they know that they can feel that. But they are with you because you also complete their narrative, whatever that it is, as much as they are completing your narrative. We allow people in our life only because they fit the narrative that we have of ourselves and the sort of people that we should have in our life. And so what you want to do is to change your narrative. Change the way that you see yourself. Find a way to understand, to realize why you believe that, and change that belief. Tell yourself, it's not true. I used to believe that because maybe I was neglected as a child, maybe I've been bullied, maybe this or that. But now I'm a grown up. I don't need to believe that I'm still having the limit that I had back then when I was younger. Now I'm a grown up. I can use my imagination, my intelligence, my intuition to come up with other things. And also, what you want to realize is that no matter what you are, no matter who you are, no matter how you look like, no matter what you do, there are people like you. We like to believe that we should stick to some people because they happen to be there, because they've always been there, because they're connected to my work or my family or my neighborhood. But nowadays, more than ever, we have connection with everyone. So you can easily find a group of people who are like you. If you're neurodivergent, you can find other neurodivergent people. If you have some specific interest, I don't know, if you are obsessed with the Lords of the Rings or something like that, Harry Potter, you can find people who are actually passionate about this as well. You can find friends who have the same common interest as you. Whatever that it is, you can find your tribe online and in real life. If you have access to me on TikTok, no, on YouTube today, then you have access to the internet, right? So you can actually absolutely do this. And I would recommend you to do this. Remind yourself that you are no longer limited by the belief that you had before. Realize that you can expand yourself. And it's a big word out there. There are millions of people, millions and millions of people in this world. You don't need to stay obsessed by that group. You can really open yourself, invite other people in your life. What do you say about this headbutting bullet? Does it make sense? Is it helpful in any way? Do you want to discuss this more? Do you want to tell me if it's possible for you to do this? Mao Gang, trauma from my childhood from being abused. It shows up in ways like muscle tension, muscle body pain, shallow breathing. Okay. So physical stuff. Okay. So shallow breathing, let's talk about this first. Breathing is actually not only something that determines the state of your body, but it's actually that. Let me get back to you. My my alarm was reminding me, I nearly forgot, that it's time for me to post my second TikTok of the day. Racism doesn't exist. Okay. When Donald Trump lies to... Okay, done. Sorry about this. So let's get back to our... so, breathing, your whole body is a network. So nothing goes just one way. Everything goes anyways, both ways or more. And so with breathing, when you're breathing, it's telling you that there's something wrong with your body. But you can also use your breathing to actually regulate your body. You can do it the other way around. So you do this by learning about mindful breathing. When you have shallow breathing, it's a sign that you are going into hyperventilation. You are going into survival mode. I'm having a panic attack. I'm overwhelmed. I need to stay on the edge. So basically, when you are hyperventilating, when you are shallow breathing, you are getting into a state of survival. I need to be ready to fight the tigers, the lions, the saber-tooth animals, monsters. They're going to eat me or the other tribe. This is a primal response that we have. It's a survival mechanism. And so when you breathe like that, it's because you need to be into a survival state. Survival mode, you're basically laser mind focused, tunnel vision onto the threat, and you are gathering all your focus is on your muscles being ready to jump and to take an action, to fight, to flee, whatever that you can do at this moment. Now, if you can practice, if you can remind yourself that your body is a network and it goes both ways, you can use your breathing to actually go from survival mode to chill mode. So we have two stages. Just 1 second, please. And so we have two states. We can either be on a sympathetic state or parasympathetic state. Sympathetic, survival. Parasympathetic, rest, digest, chill, grow, process things, allow for the cells in your body to regenerate and all of those things. And so breathing mindfully is essentially, you have different systems. You get the box breathing and 478, which are the two most common techniques we teach people. There are other stuff that you can learn online. You just need to Google or go on AI. But essentially, breathing mindfully is being aware of your breath and making sure that you're breathing out for a longer time while you are breathing in. If you're breathing out for a longer time than you breathe in, and if you're breathing in through the belly, not through the chest, eventually you will actually send a signal to your nervous system, to your body, that you don't need to be on a survival mode. And if you do this, it will help you with the anxiety. It will help you with the shallow breathing. It will help you with the panic attack. And so box breathing is basically you drawing a box in your mind and synchronizing the drawing with your breath. So you draw a square, a box, and each line is the count of 4, and it goes like this. You breathe in for 4, you hold it for count of 4, you breathe out for 4, and you hold it for 4. And every time you complete a square, you see a number. You do 10, 20, whatever is required. And it's a very powerful system. It's a skill you need to practice and learn. And then if you feel that you are going into survival mode, to this, that will help you reset yourself physically, mechanically, biologically, physiologically. It's super powerful. It's super simple. People don't know this, and we should all know this. It's so useful. All right. The other one is called 4-7-8 plus, and basically you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold your breath for the count of 7, and you breathe out for the count of 8 or more. So again, it's focusing on more. So let me show you. It goes like that. And so forth and so on. It's really focusing on releasing, letting the energy out, letting the breath out. And as you do that, you will reset your nervous system and you will feel better about yourself instantly, right? However, it's a skill that you need to develop, not when you are going through that. Think about going to the battle. You don't learn how to fight with your sword and your shield when you're on the battle. You practice before the battle. Right? And so what you want to do is to do these things. Check out Google, right? Check out 4-7-8 breathing and box breathing or square breathing. And try both, whichever works for you. Box breathing is great because you have a visual, you are drawing a box. And 4-7-8 is good because you are focusing on the exhale. And so people are different. One will work better for you. And then practice it 3 times a day, at least. Take your time, take a break. Think about, you know what, I'm going to exercise. This is something important that can absolutely save my life. And then the more you do this regularly, the more when you notice that I'm having a sharp breathing, then bang, do this. And you will feel, oh, okay, you know what? After 10, 20 breaths, maybe after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, doesn't matter. Do it until you feel better. And you will feel better. And you will reclaim your power. You can feel, okay, you know what? Trauma, F off. I've got something now. It doesn't fix the root of your problems, but at least you have something that can help you regulate yourself whenever you are being overwhelmed because you're being triggered by XYZ. Okay? Next, you talk about muscle tension, muscle body pain. So it's the same thing. You start with that. Now, when it comes to the body, it could be anything, and I couldn't tell you because we need to work together at a deeper level. I would need to have more information. But whatever that you have stored in your body in terms of tension is to do with some unregulated emotional wounds. Yeah. Anything that happened to you in the past that you have not been able to deal with, your body remembers it. And it can be migraines, can be digestion problems, can be skin issues, it can be poor hearing, tinnitus, vision problems, tension, pain in the abs, breathing, any of those things, or vomiting, or so many more. They are all the way those unregulated and unhealed emotional wounds have affected your body physically. Because we are, and this is something that I talk about often, we are not a body and a mind. We are a body and a mind and a soul and so many more. We are one thing, and it's the same thing. However, when we talk about ourselves like a body, we're looking at ourselves from the position of biology. We're looking from the biological perspective, we are a body. From a psychological perspective, we are a mind. From a spiritual perspective, we are a soul, and so forth and so on. From an atomic energy, we are from an atomic energy, we are no, gosh. From an atomic perspective, we are energy. And so what I'm trying to say is that whatever is happening to you in whichever aspect of your life is affecting the other aspect of your life. Whatever you think affects how you feel. But also, however you feel affects how you think. It goes both ways. Everything is a network. So yes, so if you have anything in your body, it is to do with some trauma indeed. And for us to find out what it is, we will need to have deep, specific conversation. So if you can maybe throw some information there, I can do my best to come up with something with whatever you share with us. But we're all vastly and deeply different, and it's important to realize this. There's no like big categorization, simple A, B, or C options. We're all vastly, greatly different. And so yes, Meo Gang, do you want to tell us more about you? Lady C said hi. Hello. Hale Lopez. So true. Love how you explain this. Fantastic. Thank you. So calming, yet informative, empowering. Fantastic. Thank you, Lady C. Lady C, how to make friends when too scared to trust. So there are two things that you can do. Again, you can either find people who are sharing similarities as yours. So already there's something in common. It will be easier for you to connect and trust. But the main thing, and that's number two, and it should be number one really, is for you to address why you can't trust people. The reason you can't trust people is because you've been let down and you have not been taught a coping mechanism. The problem is not that we're being let down. We all will be let down by some people throughout our life. It happens. It's not great, but it's okay because it's life. The problem is that we don't know how to regulate ourselves. We don't know how to do that. If we've been hurt by some people in childhood and we don't know how to basically feel safe because of what happened to us, now when we're going to meet people, if they let us down, we're going to feel actually in danger. People are bad, people can turn their back on me, I don't trust them, they can still hurt me, and when they try to hurt me, I won't be able to do anything about it because I don't know what to do. You see yourself, I don't know, like a rabbit surrounded by sharks or something like that, and that's why you can't trust them. It's not because of the people, it's not because of the world, it's because of the idea that you have of yourself, because of what happened to you in childhood. And so you can change this, you can change your belief, you can work on that, you can realize not everyone is bad, not everyone is scary, not everyone is a narcissist, not everyone is a sociopath. People are people, and if I can learn how to recognize people and say the right thing at the right time, I can trust people. Because it's not about trusting people, it was always about trusting yourself. Think about the analogy of a bird. Birds, they don't rely on the strength of the branches. They rely on their own wings. They don't care about the branch. If the branch breaks, they can fly, easy. And this is the thing, you've been staring at the branches all along, forgetting that you have wings. And so trusting people means, trusting people happens when you can speak out your truth, when you can set boundaries, when you can recognize people and take action straight away. That's it. If you can do this, if you can learn those skills, then you will be able to trust yourself. And so you will trust people. But again, it was never about trusting people. It was always about trusting yourself. It's like when people say, being kind to others attracts people who take advantage of you. And it's not true. Being kind to people is nice. If people take advantage of you, it's not because you are being kind to them. It's because you are not being able to set boundaries. You have allowed them. That's different. And so remember this. Learn how to develop those skills that will teach you how to be better at being with people. And that in turn will remind you that although there are indeed a lot of people who may be toxic to us for XYZ reasons in that situation, it's okay because I can see them coming with their big shoes. I can anticipate, I can say the right thing and say, no, stop, not today, not ever. And then resume your life and be happy and meet other people who are better for you, right? Does it help, Lady C? Male gang, socialization is important. Yes, we want to socialize, indeed. We are pack animals and we thrive with others, and we need to find a way to reconnect with our tribe. We don't need to reconnect with everyone, and especially not with the wrong crowd. But there's a crowd for each and one of us. Mira, what are your thoughts on meditation? Meditation is great. Meditation is a word that encompasses so many things. So it's different for everyone. There's a lot of different types of meditation for a lot of different purpose and functions, and for people at different level of awareness and readiness for this meditation. And so when it comes to meditation, you want to really find a system that works for you. Don't go for the trendy, whatever, fancy type of meditation because it's got some sort of Indian name and some celebs in Hollywood are doing this, so it's got to be the best one. It's not like something, they're not systems that works for everyone. They're systems that work for the right people. So find out what works for you. It can be as simple as just sitting in a park, looking at the birds and the bees, and chilling and focusing on that. Just that is a type of meditation. Looking inward is meditation. And so do whatever that works for you. Listen to some audio recording, spend time in nature, enjoying nature. And then, if that is easy, then you can maybe take it one notch up. And you can start to practice the other stuff. There are tons of stuff you can do. Meditation is very important. We should all get started in some aspect of it, because meditation is no more or less than tapping into internal power. We're looking inward. We suffer because we are constantly reacting to the outside, to the external environment. And because of that, we suffer, because we have no control over what is happening outside of us. But if we can look inward, now we can realize that inside of me there's so much going on, and I can change the way I see things. I can change the way I see myself. I can change the way I interpret all the situations. And now this is how I change my reality. And those are the premises of healing anyway. It's not about changing the world. It's about changing how we experience it by upgrading our filters. And so meditation, we look inward, and we're tapping into our infinite power. And I've written a post that I haven't published yet, and it goes like this. Just bear with me, please. I've got tons of script I write every day. Fear is focusing on the darkness outside. Inner peace is focusing on the light inside. So this is me being poetic. But essentially, this is it. We suffer because we are constantly reacting to the world outside instead of tapping into our energy inside. And meditation and mindfulness are the practices that teach us how to do this. Along with hypnosis, self-hypnosis, hypnotherapy, those things, they're all addressing the deepest side within us. Serving my Redeemer. Ignorance, is it a lack of knowledge or a lack of acknowledging with all that's around us and available, those things we pursue as important and improving to our well-being become more important? Okay, I understand your question, and I'm going to address this. It's a good question. I mean, interesting for me. I talk about it in one of my posts. Ignorance is not really something that we choose. People believe that they're choosing. Some people don't want to learn despite AI, despite everything being Alexa or whatever, Siri, being at the click of fingers, or even without fingers, you can ask and get answers. It's so easy. But what we forget is that we're all limited by our subconscious mind. 95% of our mind is subconscious, out of reach of here. It's subconscious, it's emotional. Right? Only 5% is cognitive and conscious. And so what it means is that when people are resisting a new information, or they don't want to expand their mind, they don't want to open their mind, it's not because they're choosing not to. It's because there's an emotional block. There's a part of them that resists, it doesn't feel right. So it's kind of hijacking their cognitive abilities and preventing them to allow that new information in, because it's contradicting their most and deepest belief. And so belief are the filters of the world. They are, again, subconscious, sub. We don't have access. We don't even know they are there. We don't know they exist. And they're emotional. And so those things are preventing some people to open their mind. And so if you don't realize this, if you don't know this, if you forgot about this, then we're going to judge them. What's wrong with you? I told you, it's all there. Why can't you change your mind? It's so easy. But we don't realize that they can't, because they have their emotional blocks and they can't do anything about it, because you can only address something when you have an awareness of it. And so the only chance for them to change will be if they work on themselves and they understand that there's something called subconscious emotional belief that we can address within them, right? Sometime as we get older, we change, but most of the time, unless we have some interest in self-development, in self-growth, in mindset, in psychology or spirituality or any of those things, most people will spend their life in their matrix. They won't realize that they are limited by the belief that they have downloaded from the environment as a child throughout their upbringing. And now it's literally the filters of the reality. And so a belief, so this is often what I say, this is a belief. And reality is here, I'm here. The belief is what is going to tell me what reality is about. And so if it's pink, my life is going to be pink. If it's dark, my life is going to be dark. Because that's all that I see. I don't realize that I have a belief. It's there. But it's a belief, and we can change that belief. I could decide, I don't like that. I'm going to do this instead. That's better. But unless we realize that we have some beliefs that are governing all aspects of our life, everything that we are reacting emotionally, every time we are reacting emotionally, whatever we're going to think of ourselves, of others, of a situation or an event, is all down to those little bad boys. They are our belief system. And so people who are apparently choosing to be ignorant, they're not choosing. They're limited by their subconscious mind, by an emotion, and they can't. So it depends. Some people you can actually, it depends how deep it is. It depends what level of intensity that belief exists in their body. But it's possible to some people to talk about it and change their mind. But some people will not, and it's not their fault. It's never anyone's fault. We're all limited by our emotional state. Every single one of us, all the time. Except when we meditate, except when we look inward, because now we are not longer needing that automatic pilot that is designed to get us to connect and interact with the world quicker, faster, to be more efficient. Now we're looking inside of us, and that's the only moment where we can think, okay, you know what, this is not right, I can change this, I want to change this, I'm going to put a mental note and work on that. And so yes, ignorance, it's like healing, same thing. A lot of my colleagues, and it always annoys me, it's so sad and disappointing because they should know better. But a lot of my colleagues, therapists, they're like, that client didn't heal because they didn't want to heal. They didn't work hard enough, they didn't try, they didn't care. And I'm like, gosh, you should understand the mind, you're bloody therapist. If they didn't do that, it's because they have some emotional block, and it's for you as a therapist to find a way to unlock those. It's not for you to judge them and blame them, and again, perpetuate a tradition of emotional illiteracy by assuming that people do things on purpose. People don't choose not to heal. We all want to heal, we all want to be better. We all just do what we can do, what we are ready to do at this point in time. That's it. And it's for the therapist's job to make sure that we can see that and give them the right keys to open the right door at the right time. So, yep, does it make sense? Serving my Redeemer. JC, hi friend, hope your day is going well. Yes, it's doing very well indeed. Thank you so much, JC. Mao Gang, we do the 478 box breathing. Good advice, thank you. It's two different ones, but I'm sure you understood. Aviva Gabriele, interesting. Can you articulate a little more? It's hard to understand you. Okay, all right. I can't really. This is me today. I hope that is going to be enough. I am aware of my articulation all the time. Because of my ADHD, because of the fact that English is not my first language, I'm actually very aware of that. But thank you for the feedback. I keep trying my best, and I hope that it will be good enough for you. Thank you. Yes, it helps learning, and trying will be scary, but being alone is worse. From Lady C. Thank you. Bottom 101. So I want to make sure that my volume is high enough, though. Yes, it should be okay. I don't know. I've been doing live for a little while now, so... What I said to someone else is that I did order a mic, so if you find it difficult to hear me, from July, I will have a mic and the sound quality will be much better. But as far as the articulation is, you know, it's my best at this point in time, and I hope that it will be enough for you. So let's go back to Lady C. Learning, training will be scary to me, but being alone is worse. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We're talking about coming out of your place and meeting the world, opening yourself to society and people, finding your tribe. So yes, you're not alone. You're feeling lonely. We live in a world full of people. You know, we're never alone. There's always people. You may be alone in your flat or your house, but if you come out, there are tons of people everywhere. It's more that mental state of loneliness, as in, I'm not connected. I don't belong, whether I'm on my own or not. And that is what is creating the problem. That's why if you can find your tribe, you'll be reminded that people that are like you and that can absolutely, that will love you and accept you for who you are without you having to do anything about it. Bottom feeder, okay? What do you think about using ChatGPT for therapy? It depends. It depends. I believe that for some people, it can be a good alternative, as in something is better than nothing. I don't want to be the guy who's saying, only this will help you. And if you can't afford it, then you're done. Because that'll be terribly negative and toxic for me. I believe that there are many ways to get to where we want to get. And I believe that all routes lead to Rome. Now, it may take a long time. It may take a lifetime. It doesn't matter because we exist to go through our adventure. And so maybe that's the thing we need to do. For me, it took me 38 years to get there. For some people, it takes less. For some people, it takes much longer. We're all different. But what I'm trying to say is that there's not one system, therapeutic system, that will heal everything. This doesn't exist. There's not one system that works for everyone. There is, however, something that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. And so if ChatGPT can open your mind and give you some information about psychology, about meditation, about all of those things, it can be huge. It can be very good. It may not fix everything, but it may take you on a journey that takes you somewhere else. And that person or that book or that system is going to take you somewhere else. And now you're expanding yourself. And eventually you'll have enough information to change enough of yourself so that you can live better. Yeah. So it's possible. Right? Now, there are exceptions. For some people, ChatGPT can be a problem. Depending on what sort of conditions you have, if you are, let's say, if you have schizophrenia, if you have psychosis, it's going to be very dangerous because they're going to be talking to someone like AI, and then it's going to blur realities, and that can really, really be problematic. But there's no regulation, and it's the state of the world. It's chaos, and so whatever happens, happens. But it depends on the people. But at a general level, unless you have some specific conditions such as schizophrenia or very heightened state of anxiety, then it can be helpful to some people in some capacity. I think it's like everything. We must realize that we are not one thing. We are multidimensional. And so, as I was saying, that there's no such thing as one method that can heal everything and everyone. It's also that we're not just one thing. We don't need one method to change us. We need to address many aspects of ourselves. Right? It's not about one magic pill, one magic therapy protocol, one magic hypnosis, one magic therapist, one magic whatever book. It's about addressing all the aspects of our life so that we can have a better grasp of who we are. Nothing that happened to us is only because of one thing. Everything that happens to us is always because of many things all happening at the same time. And so we want to address, indeed, the emotional triggers to do with the past, but we also want to address lifestyle. Do we sleep well? Do we eat well? Do we move around? Do we socialize? Do we go out in nature? Do we enjoy some sun and fresh air? Do we socialize? Do we things that make us happy? Do we meditate? Do we keep stress and toxins at bay? All of these things are so important. And environment. Are we surrounded by people at work and at home that are either supporting us or putting us down? All those things are as important as the therapeutic bit. Right? So this is what I always say. You have the emotional triggers. This is what we address in therapy. But you also have the lifestyle, as in physical health, which is the same thing as mental and emotional health, really. And environment. Who is around you? What do you do? What work do you do? Are you in a place that you enjoy? Who's with you at home? Or are you alone? All of those things are so very important. And they are things that we can absolutely learn how to address, even if we don't have access to therapy. If we can have access to therapy and we find the right therapist with the right toolbox, with the right emotional connection, it's better. But you know what? Life happens, and we all do what we can with what we have, and we all get somewhere. We'll get what we should be getting at the right time and in the way it's meant to be happening, I think. I believe that. So yes, bottom feeder, that's my answer. Kay Stevens, yes, the way your parents looked at may have been the way someone else taught them to look at you. Maybe they were just weak. There's no such thing as weak. Weakness is a judgment. Again, weak is contextual. And so if, let's say we do a competition, powerlifting competition, which is the sport I used to compete at, then there's someone that is going to be weaker and someone that is going to be stronger. As in, you can check the numbers and the weight category. So it's very simple. It is contextual. But if I play chess, now we have different rules. We have different system to measure the quality of someone's strength of weakness. And so who is going to be weaker, the one who loses? And weak is not even a good way to present this anyway. But everything is contextual. No one is weak. No one is strong. We are either weak or strong within a certain place and time for abiding a certain code of a certain set of rules. And so parents are human beings just like us, and they are what they are because of their upbringing. And then because they carry the wounds, the trauma, the baggage from their upbringing, from their parents, from their generation, from their environment, from their belief system. Now, as we grow up under them, we're going to be affected by that. And this is what we call generational trauma. If you don't fix our problems, if you don't heal all the things that we have been infected by our own parents and grandparents and great-grands and everyone above, we're going to perpetuate that. And if you have children, they will carry the baton, the flame, and they will suffer what we have suffered as well. That's why it's so important to have some self-awareness and to say, okay, that's enough. It stops here. And even if you don't have children, I don't have children, I will never have kids. But even as a human being, if you don't change who you are, you will impact others. Everyone that you meet in your life will be impacted by who you are as a person based on your mental and emotional state in regards to the belief that may be toxic to you. And so you are basically radiating that energy outside and affecting everyone just as well. And so yes, there's no such thing as weak, and our parents, indeed, they're just human beings, and a part of the healing at some point is to realize this. I want to stop looking at our parents like on the pedestal, gods. They're everything, they know everything, they're so important. Whatever they say is so special and important, and they say the truth about me. I want to realize, no, they're just human beings, and some of them are better parents than others, some of them are not so much, and it's never their fault. We do what we can, again, based on our emotional setup, our belief system, the things that happened to us, the things that we have fixed about our past, and the things that we didn't. And so, yeah. And so, to resume that conversation, I often say this. We are the continuation of a story that started a long time before us. But if we don't realize that, then we're going to just continue, perpetuate that momentum, as opposed to realizing that now it's my turn to write the next chapter. So I can change this. Okay, yes, closed-mindedness, rigid, strict rules, afraid to dip their toes outside of what others may think, a false sense of safety, really. Yes. So this is basically what a lot of us have been through, again, because society is making sure that people stay in that bubble of fear and us versus the others. Serving my Redeemer. Wow, word of wisdom. All right, thank you. Thanks again, brother Sensei Didikan. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, serving my Redeemer. I'm glad that something that I said was useful to you, or impactful at least. Pale Blue Dotty, please keep your lovely French accent. Thank you very much. Will do. It's easier for me. Serving my Redeemer. ADHD, all done. He did it. Okay. Get it. Mad knowledge. Is the law of attraction something which is real? Yes, it is real. How can I get over and thinking about situation where I had a heated interaction with someone, please? So let me address the first question. Is the law of attraction something real? Yes. Now, it depends on what you think about it. If you think, is the law of attraction, if I think about something positive, then it's going to happen like that, It doesn't work like that. It's not what it means. The law of attraction just means that whatever you feel, whatever you believe, whatever you think, whoever you are, is going to manifest a corresponding reality for you. That's it. So that can be explained from a psychological perspective. Your state of mind, your belief system are going to tint your interpretation of reality. If you are depressed and you can see everything dark and your mind is only going to focus on the bad stuff because you are programming your mind to do that. If you're happy, if you are in a good place, you've done some work on yourself, your mind, if you have practiced optimism, your mind will be doing the opposite. It will be focusing on the good stuff. Right? And it's not something that we choose. It's a state that is giving us a choice. Again, back to the belief system that I was talking about earlier on today. And so law of attraction is the real thing, as in, is the law of cause and effect. It's karma, no more, no less. Now, a lot of people are trying to make you believe that if you do certain meditation technique, if you do certain thing like that, you can manifest all what you want. And there's some truth behind it, but we forget that there's so many other aspects of us that is going to prevent us to do this. And so, I do believe that you can visualize things and make things happen, but only if and when you have let go of your emotional blocks. The reason why people can't manifest, let's say, winning the lottery, or attracting the love of their life, or whatever they want, or having a perfect health and body that they love, is because they have emotional blocks about that thing. And so now, whatever they are trying to manifest is going to be kind of sabotaged by that. And so if you want to practice the law of attraction, you must first address your emotional blocks, trauma, baggage, wounds, triggers, associations, all of those things, first and foremost. Now, next question. How can I get over and thinking about situation where I had a heated interaction with someone by changing the definition of it, change the narrative, change the story? So you have a problem with someone, that's an event. And then next you're going to think about that event and you're going to give it a meaning. So why did that happen? Why do you have an argument with, let's say, George, someone called George, random name? So if you have certain belief about yourself, it's going to be something like that. Because George doesn't respect me. Because George doesn't care about what I say. And that reminds me that no one cares about me. No one ever listens to me. I am invisible. And that really pisses me off. So now I'm going to be angry at George. It stems maybe from the belief that I want to be seen, I want to be heard, and that person doesn't respect me, doesn't see me, and that gets me very, very angry. But if you can change your belief and think, why is it happening? It's not because of me. It's not because of my limiting belief about myself. It's because George had a bad day and George has got his own baggage and he's got triggered. And whatever he's done or said is a reflection of himself. Whatever people do and say is always a reflection of a projection of themselves. Like we do the same. Whatever we express is always a manifestation of something that exists already inside of us. Whatever thoughts, state, feelings, emotions, belief, it comes out all the time. And this is what people experience. But we don't react to people because of them. We react to people because of the triggers that we have about those things. And we then going to believe that it's because of them. So we are emotional creatures before we're thinking creatures. So what it means is that we feel first based on all those beliefs that are installed into our subconscious mind. And then right after, our brain is going to come up with a story, a narrative to back up that feeling. It works in that way. We don't think first and feel. When we react, the reaction is always emotional. We don't react cognitively. We respond cognitively, intellectually. When we react, it's always subconscious and emotional. And so first there's an emotion, and then next there's a narrative. Why do I feel like that? Because of him, because of her, because of them, because of bad luck, because And so what you can do in that moment is to change the narrative. Why am I reacting to this? As opposed to thinking, what's wrong with him? Ask yourself, why am I reacting to him? And now you are back into a place of power. Now I've got power, I can change something. It's there, it's in me, I can change it. We can't change people. We can't change the external world. We can't do anything about it. So whenever we look at outside, we're feeling disempowered. we're reactive, and we suffer. If I look at inside, now I'm back into the driving seat. Why am I feeling like that? What can I do about it? Is this true? Is it useful for me to think, that thought? Can I do something about it? Yes. I can breathe, I can let it go. I can choose a different definition, meaning to that situation. And so George didn't talk to me like that because he doesn't respect me. George talked to me like that because he can be clumsy. He doesn't mean that. Maybe he's on the autism spectrum. He can be quite in your face, and he doesn't mean that. Or even if he meant that, maybe because in that moment he saw something that is to do with his own trauma, and he has reacted to me because of his own triggers, not because of me. So I hope it makes sense. I know it's a little bit convoluted, but hopefully something that I said made sense. And also, guys, just so you know, if you're not used to my channel, whenever I go live, I leave my live videos to be replayed. So you can always replay them, go back, take notes, and being reminded of whatever that I said about any conversation at all. I go both live on TikTok and YouTube. The difference is that on YouTube, the live stay on my profile. Just go on the live section, you will see all the live I've done so far. Okay? So I hope it makes sense. Mad knowledge, what do you think about this? Trident, do you have low sound disease? Dude, speak louder. Everyone is at me. So guys, the people who can hear me, and I see 20 thumbs up and 14 people watching. People who can hear me, please tell me if you can hear me. Because I know that there's a lot of people, there are people who genuinely cannot hear me, and I understand that. But there are also a lot of trolls who enjoy saying things just to trigger people. I can't hear you, just to get them to react to that. And so please, guys, if you can hear me, let me know. So far, that system has worked very well for a month. And so, there you go. So no, I don't have a low sound disease. I hope not, Trident. Dude. I get it, Trident. All I hear is, okay, so you're a troll, basically. You just said something very, very secretly racist here, right? Trident is very naughty, he's very nasty, he's not kind, he's not clever at all. I don't take things personally anymore, but I'm going to have to block you because I'm creating this space to help people who need some advice. And so this is very unkind and uncalled for you. It's not nice for anyone else. I wish you the best. I wish you to find some peace and to find other ways to distract yourself than to troll random strangers on the internet. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to block you, okay? So report, I'm going to put hate speech. Okay. And I'm going to remove and remove. Okay. If we see anything from Trident, let's just ignore it. It was always meant to happen. There's always one of them, few of them. Let's move on. Caroline. Oh, hello, Caroline. Hello, Didi. So great to see you. Enjoy to learn and listen to you so much. Thank you so much, Caroline. Kay Stevens. A nursery song in church was that they are weak, but he's strong. But somebody loves me. I was told that I was reminded that I was weak every Sunday. Oh, it's terrible. It's not nice at all. Yes. So, yeah, a lot of old stuff are precisely designed to make people feel terrible about themselves. Sins. You're weak. You're selfish. You are lazy. And now, this is all to condition people to behave in a certain way. But yeah, forget about that. Move on from that. It's not nice. Learn how to be kind to yourself by choosing things to entertain your mind with that are empowering, not disempowering. Caroline, how does someone get through the grief of a pet? Will a lot of crying make the pain we feel come out and let it take time? But it seems like it never goes away because we love our pets. Okay, I get it. I lost my dog, or last dog, on the 15th of April. So, not that long ago. And so I can really talk about this. It's not just the pet, people, any type of grief. When we love someone, or some animals, some pets, it's very, very painful because we are human. And because we get used to something that is good, and when it's no longer there, our brain is designed to make us feel very bad, to highlight that indeed. But we can actually get better by changing the way we look at the situation. And so when you look at your pet, think, and this is the way that I look at it with my own dogs. The last dog that left His name was Alfie. And to me, we loved him as much as we could have loved any dog. We had 3 dogs. He was our last one, and he was the most loved because we learned more and more with each dog. And we really gave him the best life ever. We were very, very good. All his last month for he was going through his health going down. We were very. He was our #1 priority, and so we gave him the best life, and he also did his job. So we loved him as much as we could have loved him. And he loved us back 10 million more times. And so everything is fine. This was meant to happen. Mortality is always meant to happen. He's done his job, which is to make our life better and to love us. And we've done our job, which was to make his life better and to love him. And so it's good. Now we must accept that it happened. He had a long life with us. He was happy. And now, instead of thinking about me, I'm missing my dog, we're going to think, I'm so happy and proud but I was lucky enough to have all of those experiences with my dog. Focus on the good times that you had with your dog. Accept that mortality was always meant to happen. And also think about your doggy running in the rainbow cloud, whatever, doggy heaven with the other dogs, with the other people, and that will make you feel better about yourself, right? We find it difficult to move on with grief when we are looking at things from our perspective. Me, I'm missing, I'm suffering, I want this, I want that. Instead of thinking, zooming out and realizing, you know what, we were always meant to part. We have done that together. And now I'm going to focus on the good moments we had together. I have so many memories. And so I, for instance, if I do this, I can remember I had 3 dogs. I can remember the feeling, the smell, the warmth, the sound of each dog. Very different. I have imprinted those in my brain, so I can do this anytime that I want. So my dogs are never gone. They're always there with me. At some point, we'll have more dogs. We're not ready for that just yet, but at some point we will. But in the meantime, it's okay because we know that they're not gone anywhere. So this is the next thing. Change your spiritual belief. Make sure that you know that they're not gone forever. They're somewhere, they're with you. Every time that you think about your dog or your cat or your chinchilla or whatever, birds, whatever pet that you have, or people, they are still with you. In that moment when you think about them, they exist inside of you, in your heart. And you can feel them, and you can even talk to them. I talk to my dad every now and then, he's gone. But we have a big mirror, and there's a picture, there are different things. There's a lot of faces. There's Buddha. There's also Jesus and Mary. And there's my dad in the middle. And I talk to all of them. And in my mind, I'm talking to my dad, I'm talking to Buddha, I'm talking to Bob Marley. They're all there. And I'm having a great time. Whenever you miss something, change the way that you look at mortality. That would be a great thing to do. I hope that any of the things that I said made sense. Just bear with me, please. I'm lost. Serving my Redeemer, Proverb 23.7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. We become what we think about the most. Okay, fair enough. Mira, let's all be kind in the comments, please. Thank you, Mira. Yes. Forget about that guy. I keep on removing. I don't know what it does, but we're just going to ignore. It's how it goes. Tamador, bro, go troll on another stream. Thank you, Tamador. Caroline, yes, there is a troll here in the chat, but Didi will block them when he sees it. Yes, I did. Thank you so much, Caroline. You know me. Caroline, yes, either they can go away or they will be blocked. Pale Blue Duty. I reported the troll. I hope Didier will block them. Thank you, Pale Blue Duty. Thank you. Man knowledge. Loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you. I knew it. But I'm just extra careful because I know that there are some people who genuinely have hearing problems. So I don't want to be unkind to them because of some trolls. Right? I do believe that there are some people who genuinely cannot hear me very well because of X, Y, Z. So I want to make sure that I am as kind as I can to everyone until I realize that they're a troll. And then we just move on. Kay Stevens, I can hear you. He's a troll. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Kay. Mira, just someone projecting their own insecurities. Yes, indeed. Their own anger and hurt and boredom and loneliness. Lady C, I can hear and understand you fine. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. SGM, audio is very okay. Thank you, SGM. Lynn, there's nothing wrong with your volume or speech, Didi, and I'm only hearing you with one ear at the moment. Thumbs up 3 times. Thank you so much, Lynn. Serving my Redeemer, excellent source of sound. Thank you, guys. It's nice. Thank you, guys. It's very nice. So you see, if anything, the troll has helped you guys, brought that energy in here, and it's making me feel good. Thank you so much for your support. You see, sometimes negative can turn into positive. And so that troll is not here anymore, but he doesn't realize that he has created a moment of happiness for me. Thanks to all of you guys saying those things. Thank you. It's very nice. Thank you. Mira, I can hear you very clearly. Thumbs up. Caroline, I also reported the troll, the destroy for others who are there to learn. It's okay. Let's move on. I agree with you. But let's move on. Tamadar, I do long walks. What do you think about it? Because I feel better after this walk. Yes, walking is great. Keep doing them. I walk as well whenever I can, depending on my schedule. But I do my best to walk. I have a lot of parks around where I live, and my favorite one is the big one. It's called Russell Square, and you can see me there quite often. And I just go there. I either meditate or I listen to audiobooks or I walk or both or all of those things at the same time, and I absolutely love going there. Walking is fantastic. Walking is not just something that you do for your physical health. It's not just about your hips, but it's also about your mental and emotional and spiritual health. You relax yourself, you connect with your environment, you can do walking meditation. If you walk in a park like me, you are reconnecting with nature. And that is also hugely beneficial to mental health because we are hardwired to connect with nature. We're animals. We belong to the ecosystem. And so, walking is fantastic. I love my walks and keep it up, yes. It's one of the things that we should be doing every day, as much as we can, because some of us have restrictions, of course. But if we can, we really should be doing this. So yes, keep doing whatever feels right for you. Alex Shesher, during meditation, when those who once gave energy now need it from you, how far do you share? Where do you set your boundaries? So let's try again. During meditation, when those who once gave energy now need it from you, how far do you share? Where do you set your boundaries? It depends. It's for you to find out. We're all different. Pay attention to your body, pay attention to how you feel, and listen to it, and do what it's telling you to do. Right? Listen to your body, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, listen to your emotions, your feelings, pay attention to how you feel. Learn how to develop a good communication with your body, and then you will know. We tend to think everything with words and pictures and sentences, but we can also communicate by learning how to feel. So it's very important to pay attention to how we feel all the time, because very often if we don't do that, we don't know why suddenly we're stressed out, why we're anxious, why we are feeling down, low of energy. But if we can learn how to reconnect with our body every day, all the time, pay attention, how am I feeling? How is my chest? How is my belly? How is my spine? Then you may recognize some things and do something about it. Or you may think, okay, I'm good. Focus on your breath. And when it comes to this moment where I'm thinking, what should I be doing? Then your body will tell you that. But you say during meditation. So I'm not sure. Are you talking about a specific type of meditation that involves sharing energy? I guess that's what you mean. if that is the case, then again, do test and trial and just listen to your body and do what feels right for you to do in this moment. There's no right or wrong. We all have different priorities, and for some of us, something that may cost us something may be a good thing to do. For others, it may not. So it's for you, only you knows, and you can find out by listening to your body. Okay? I hope it helps. Pledu said hi. Hello. Pledu, dude, RTT claims to work faster than traditional therapy, but how do you ensure the change is real and sustainable, not just temporary hypnosis euphoria? We can't. There's no guarantee. There's not a single protocol in the world that can guarantee you anything. When it comes to the things of the mind, and even traditional medicine, what do we know about cancer, Parkinson's, or any of those things, dementia? So there's no guarantee. Wanting a guarantee, we do that because we want to know whether we're going to take a good choice or not, but it's naive. Nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is promised. Now, what people claim is because they are promoting their things. I don't claim anything. What I'm saying is that RTT, based on my experience, based on my 8 years as an RTT therapist, has been proven very powerful for the vast majority of my clients. Now, there are exceptions, and people are different, and people change at different rates in different ways, so things are always ongoing. However, there's not one single protocol in the world that can guarantee you anything. Not one. And so I'm going to say, how can we ensure? We cannot ensure anything. However, now, based on logic, based on experience, based on track record, the reason why change is real and sustainable is because we address the root cause of the belief. We address the original belief. That's why. In classic hypnotherapy, people add some information in someone's subconscious mind. And so that's why, after a while, very often, they need a top-up. When I studied RTT, I remember some people came to me thinking that I was doing classic hypnotherapy. They wanted a top-up, and I didn't understand. I was like, what? What is a top-up? Because with RTT, we don't do top-up. And the reason behind this, the difference, is because with RTT, we remove the old negative belief before we replace it with a better one. That's the difference. With traditional classic hypnotherapy, people just add things on the top of something that is still there. So it's going to push it away at some point, right? If it ever works even. Sometimes it doesn't work. I think chemotherapy works for some things like cigarettes, simple, straightforward things like that, but it doesn't really address deep trauma, deep dysregulations. RTT does, because the very fundamentals of RTT is to precisely find the root cause, the core belief that are creating problems, and change it, so that we don't believe it anymore. And then once this is done, then we bring something else to replace it. So this is why RTT, this is why some RTT people, the marketers, claim all those things. I do believe that it works faster than traditional therapy. I do believe that, absolutely. It's not that I believe, I know that. I know that because I've been doing it for 8 years, and I've got so many colleagues. I meet people all the time. We talk about these things all the time. I meet people from any background and with any protocol, right? All sorts of different type of therapists, including traditional hypnotherapists, RTT therapists, but also people who are into NLP, CBT, schema, whatever, everything that exists under the sun. I've met someone who does those things, and we talk about those things all the time. And so that gives me an idea of this. But really importantly, there's no guarantee. There's only understanding how a system works. And so this is also only one aspect of it. It's only the tool. You want to find the right person. Because with RTT, with EMDR, with somatic feeling protocols, whatever that it is the person that will make the difference. You need to find the right person for you. All of those things are only tools. And I always say this, a tool is only as good as the person that is using it. So you need to find the right tool for you, but also the right person with whom you connect, and they can help you, and they want to help you for the right reasons. And so, yeah, Stradivarius are only as good as the violinist. That's my motto. I hope that answers your question, Pledu. SGM. Why do I still remember unkind and, to my understanding, unfair comments which were said to me decades ago? Because you still believe in them to be true, and you still believe them to be dangerous. That's why. We have thoughts happening in our head all the time. We don't choose our thoughts. They're just happenings. What we choose is which one we're going to believe, which one we're going to think is important. And they're the ones that stay in our head. The only reason why you have some thoughts that stay in your head longer than others is because there's a part of you that believes that they're more important than other thoughts. That's it. And so the reason why you still think about some painful, hurtful comments you had done to you many years or decades ago is because there's a part of you that is still hurt, because he still believes that it's true. And so this is how you want to address this. Ask yourself, those comments, are they true? As in, do they depict a clear representation of reality? Is it true? And so whatever they said to you, I don't know what it is, but it's probably not true, or at least not anymore. Maybe it was then, in that context, at that time, in that place with those people. But now, whatever they said to you, is it true in your life right here, right now? No. Number two, is it useful for you to think that sort of thought? Probably not, because it's making you feel bad, right? And number three, is it kind? And so utilize those questions to challenge those thoughts that you have of yourself, and you realize, that thought is not true, is not kind, is not useful. I'm going to let go of that thought. I'm going to choose to decide that it's not important, it's not true. I'm going to choose to think another thought. But then again, you also want to understand the situation itself. Who are they? Who are those people? What were they to you? What happened between you and them? And you want to change, essentially, how you see that experience and how you see those people and how you see yourself in regards to the potential of that experience occurring again in your life. I hope it makes sense. You want to change the story in your head, basically. Is it going to happen to me again? If it happens to me again, will I be limited like I was like then? Or maybe if it happens again now, maybe you can say something, right? Whatever that we go through teaches us something. And so even if it's not when you were a child, even if it was in your adulthood, now you've been thinking about it for a long time. So now you have some answers at the ready if it happens again. So you can think to yourself, you know what? If it happens again, I'm going to say this to them. And now, there's nothing you can do because I won. And so now you can realize it doesn't matter. It happened, but if it happens again, I'm ready. I know what to say. I know what to do. I know how not to react, and so forth and so on. Does it help, SGM? Mick H, will you get another dog? Probably. Not just yet. We're enjoying being dogless because we had dogs for 17 years. So I've been with my husband for 20 years. And for 17 years non-stop we had dogs. So our life was always around the dogs. We could never travel that much. We could never, there's always someone at home making sure that we're looked after. And so now we're actually quite happy to experience for, I don't know how long, a few months, maybe a year, just being ourselves. We've never been really together as a couple without dogs. The first years we were together, I was still drinking and I was still suffering from my condition. So I was a very different person. So it's like we're discovering a new relationship now without the dog. So we are quite enjoying that freedom. I've got so much things to do. He's got a lot of things to do as well. So we are now more able to focus on those things, and it's a good feeling. But at some point in the future, maybe in a year or so, it's very likely that we will have dogs again. Lynn, I've reported the troll Didi. You should not have to tolerate him. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Caroline, thank you. It helps. It is a thought that can make me sad. Thinking that one day my cat will not be here. It's sad to think one person said it helped with cremation because it felt better for their grief. If your cat is still alive, why are you thinking about your cat being not here? Enjoy. If anything, take your cat and do like I've done with my dogs. Imprint the memory in your brain, right? I've done that with my last two dogs, because the first one left us, we're not prepared for that, we're not ready for that. But after that, he taught us to be ready for that. And to be ready for that means that you make sure that you spend a lot of time with your pet so that you can remember the way on their body, on yours, the temperature, the smell, the feeling, the sound, the look, and you really, really imprint it in your mind so that when they go, you can remind yourself they're still there with you. It's a very, very powerful thing to do, I think, to help us go through the grieving process. And so now, instead of thinking, I don't want my cat to die, spend time instead thinking, you know what, I'm going to give you all my energy by loving you in that hug for like 15, 20 minutes. And your cat will feel it. And whenever you feel something, they feel your energy. So when you give them a hug that is full of love, they feel that. It helps them actually heal as well. It helps them be healthier. And it's like people as well, like Reiki, stuff like that. We project energy, and the way we feel affect the health of anyone around us, including our pets. I remember some cases of people that we knew who were having a lot of mental and emotional distress, and their pets were sick always. There is a connection. It's not just 100% this or that, but there's a connection about how we feel and how we impact others around us energetically. Make H message retracted. Tamador, actually, I am going to go on a walk right now. Fantastic. And I go because I want to see more people. Fantastic. Good on you. Because I don't have that much people, and I do not want to be distant from people. Distanced, I think you mean. Good on you. Good on you. For mental health, it's so important to socialize. And so walking is a great thing to do. You can talk to people. You can, even if you just say hello, if there's just eye contact and smile, it's still something. And everything adds up. And so yes, good on you, Tamador. Well done. Pledu, what kind of clients should not do RTT? Is there anyone it's risky for? I think people who are schizophrenic could be problematic. But then again, this is what some people believe. I don't know about this. I don't believe that it's problematic. It depends on the practitioner. This is the thing. If the practitioner is good enough, if they understand mental health, if they can connect with people at a deep level, there should never be any problem. I believe that it's only dangerous if the practitioner is new, unexperienced, or dishonest. Like some people do things for the wrong reasons. And so if someone was going to be a therapist of any type, not because they want to help others or because they love that job, but because they like the idea of prestige, of controlling and manipulating people who are more vulnerable than them, like narcissistic people, then that will create problems. And it's something that I talk about quite often now, is that people don't realize that narcissists are attracted by positions of power. Typically, police officers, politicians, judges, lawyers, things like that. But also doctors, nurses, teachers, mental health professionals. Anyone with a position of power and authority who has people who are more vulnerable, that sort of job position will attract narcissists. And so, sadly, I've seen many people telling me that indeed they have been looked after people who were very toxic to them, even though they were meant to be looking after them. So it happens. So that would be the problem. And this is not just with RTT. This is with any protocols, any system, any professions anyway. But the reason why I'm highlighting this is because we like to assume that if someone is a mental health professional, they should be in there for the right reason. And it's not like that. Because before the job description, there's a person. And so we're all human, we're all different. We all do different things for different reasons. And so I'd say I don't believe that necessarily the condition of someone would be problematic as such as the practitioner. That would be the main thing I focus on. Does it make sense, Pledu? Pledu, that's one personal transformation you've gone through using RTT on yourself. I was lucky enough to be given RTT by Marisa Peer herself, and she addressed some physical conditions that I had by myself. So I had some very bad IBS all my life, and I had some very also big problems with my skin, psoriasis, itchy all my life everywhere, bleeding like all lifetime. And I've seen all the specialists, and they could never do that. And also I had problem with my bladder, I had problem with my vision, I had problem with my hearing, and she did all of those things in one session. We had a session, and those things were all fixed after one session. However, there's a however. I think even my hearing through the course, I was always like that, sat down at the front. Right after the session, my body posture was changed. Everyone noticed it and told me as well. Because I could see, I could hear better. I had no problem, no itchiness at all, and my bladder, no problem either. And that worked for 1 week only. And the reason why it stopped working is because I had a gout attack. And so the gout attack kind of shook everything. And so I was back to normal after that. And then after that, I didn't have access to Marisa Peer anymore. But it's okay, because since I understood how it worked, I worked on myself, and I fixed myself after that afterward. So there you go. So it did work for me the first week from her, and then it didn't work anymore. But then over time, I found a way to do it on myself again, so that now I'm again free of all those problems. And I'm talking about lifelong problems. I saw all the specialists, I went to do all the hospital, done all the tests over years and years and years, and they could never help me. But it was always something to do with the nervous system and the subconscious mind, not anything else. And so, yes, so it worked on me for physical stuff. Caroline, yesterday I was at the supermarket and there was a bit older lady there talking more loudly, so people heard her, and I felt bad for her because she said she did not have much money and said she wanted to forget the world, so she was going to go home and drink world. I thought about what you said before about addiction and trauma. I hope she can feel better. Okay, yes, thank you for showing some consideration and thoughts and empathy for that lady, and I hope that she's better as well. Yeah. Remind yourself that the universe looks after us. I know that sometimes we see a situation and it's very heartbreaking and we wished we could do something about it, but we all go through all sort of things, and this is our story, this is our adventure, and I believe that whatever we're going through, no matter how it seems, I believe that we are all supported in some capacities. So I believe that something good will happen to her in her way. You may not see it, but don't fixate on the negativity of the story. Maybe there's going to be a happy ending. Maybe there are good things in her own world that is making her very happy somehow. Maybe you talk about her being addicted and being traumatized. I understand it. I feel that a lot. I see it a lot, and I think about this quite a lot because of my job. But what I would suggest to you is what I do to myself. Trust the universe to look after all of us at some point in the best way it's meant to help us. Lady C guarantees death and taxes. Yeah. Serving my Redeemer, message retracted. Caroline, it was said, I guess I had that. Next, Caroline, I thought what you said, that we have compassion for others, like in, but when she was talking like that. But I know a lot of people in the country I live in are often judgmental, most often, so that it is a bit sad. Yes, but it's okay because you have the compassion. It doesn't matter what others do. We don't have control over that. As long as you do your best to be compassionate and empathic, that's all that matters, right? And hopefully things will change and people will learn to be more compassionate over time. The only thing you can do is what you decide to do. Focus on that, right? If you can be kind to that lady, if you, I do that. We have a lot of locals, homeless people, and they're all harmless, and you can tell that they're very rough, like as in drugs. You can very different, But some of them are there generally because bad luck, and some of them are very kind, and many of them we have a kind of homeless shelter 1.5 block away from where I live. So a few of them come in the local park, which is next to my home, and sometimes it's full of them. But now I talk to them. I mean, I've been doing it all my life anyway. but I see them as people. I spend time with them whenever I can. I smile to them. I exchange hellos and stuff, and I know that it makes such a difference to them, because to them they tend to be looked down by others, by people. They tend to be ignored. It's a horrible feeling, and so even when they are, if you feel safe, you may realize that most people who are homeless or who are into those weird states, unless they're aggressive and angry, you want to keep away from them. But if not, they're actually the victims, and if you can be kind to them just by smiling, saying hello, just that can change so much, can make their day. And others are others. There's nothing we can do about it. Serving my Redeemer as at SGM. It doesn't matter what I'm thought to be, but that in which I'm so much better than what others think. Okay. SGM. Thank you so very much. It does help that you explain me, and I will treasure it. Fantastic. Thank you. K. Stevens. I wondered if OCD in people has to do with a toxic person who doesn't feel clean, makes a child feel dirty, and it's really the parents' shame. Shame is a strange feeling. No, OCD is a condition that has nothing to do with character. It's something that people suffer from. Right? So if that's the question, if anyone has OCD, they suffer from a condition. They're not trying to be horrible parents to clean. They suffer from that. They can't help. And they may actually help themselves for doing and saying the things that they do. We just can't help. So it's very important to realize this. No one shame people on purpose. When people shame others, it's because they're projecting their own shame. It's because that's all they know, that's what they do. Now, it's not nice for the kids, it's not good for the people. But if you want to understand the bigger picture, this is how it works. Only hurt people hurt people. There's only one exception, and the exception are people who have no empathy. So there's a category of people that for whatever reason, they can't feel anything. But they still hurt in my eyes, because if you can't feel anything, as a human being, you're missing out on your whole experience. So we're already suffering from that. They don't choose that either. SGM at K. Shame is a strange feeling. I agree, it's very inhibiting. Shame is a horrible feeling, and we need to learn how to let go of it. It's an illusion that was invented by some religious books a long time ago, and because of that, the whole world suffers from mental and emotional imbalance, problems, conditions. SGM, and would like to know from Didi where shame comes from. So there you go, as you said. Shame is an invention. Shame is the idea that we are bad, there's something bad about us. And if you look at the main religions, the Abrahamic religions, it's all about shame. You're born a sinner. That's the number one rule. Before anything, you're a sinner. First, they think there's something called sins. So even that is not true. But we believe that. We've been conditioned to believe that there is such things as sins. Things like being greedy, being selfish, being lazy, and their judgments that people created back then because they needed to have a system to control people, to have a society that functions. That's it. And they didn't understand about psychology, so they had to rule by fear, punishment, obey. And so, fear, you're born a sinner, you need a savior, or you're going to end up in hell. And so to make sure that people never forget that, sins, they're not what you do, they're who you are. You are born a sinner. Shame is who we are. Guilt is what we do. And so with shame, we can't shake this off. It's part of our personality. It's part of who we are. And so people are conditioned from the youngest age, even if you're not religious. Now, because society has evolved as a continuation of those religious dogma. And so we all believe that some people are stupid, lazy, selfish, weak, whatever. We just judge others and self all the time, instead of trying to understand why are we behaving like that. If we can understand why, now we can find a way to change some things, maybe in the way we educate people, how they raise their kids, for instance, right? But also the whole way society is structured could be done in a much kinder way to support people's mental health, as opposed to use people and discard them when they're no longer productive, for instance. So there you go, SGM. Does it help? Does it make sense? Shame is an invention. It's an illusion. Don't believe in it. Ben, hello. I have a question. Okay. Ben, you're another racist. Okay. Ben, this is very naughty. This is not funny, and I'm going to block you. I'm going to report you first, because it's a hate speech. It's racist. So now, guys, ignore everything that Ben says. It's just another troll, and it's okay. But it's gone. Okay. Yes, SGM, adopted family, used that, had a lot of secrets found out when the elders passed. Kids have no reason to live in denial, but liars do. Glad I'm here to heal. Okay. Well, if you're in a healing journey, I'm happy for you. Okay. Good on you. Bossa, Didi, do you host therapy sessions? I run a practice, yes. It's my day job. I come here in my free time to give some advice for free to help people, because I believe that there's a lot of confusion and need for mental health, and people don't know where to get it. And so I do my best to come on TikTok and YouTube to do that. However, it is my day job. So if you want to work with me, I am a therapist and coach, and my specific titles are RTT therapist and clinical hypnotherapist. And you can find on my bio a link to my website. So just click on it if you have interest about what I do. And then from my website, you can send me an email to organize a free discovery call if you want to work together. And then based on that, we can decide whether or not we can work together. Okay. I do everything on Zoom. So there you go. Thank you for the inquiry. Caroline, thank you for that helps. Okay. Caroline, not another troll here, but Didi will block them. Yeah, done. Thank you. Medusa, my transition is taking a long time. What transition are we talking about? Caroline, I reported the troll. Thank you, Caroline. Lady C, thank you for sharing your time and wisdom with us. Of course, my pleasure. Medusa, I have had to go through many hardships. Okay. Going through eviction, looking at homelessness right now. All right, okay. Okay, you want to tell us more about yourself? Lynn, Ben is a troll. Did he? Yes, yeah, I did. Thank you. He's been reported for hate speech. Thank you so much, Lynn. Medusa, my wolves are howling. I can't hear anything. SGM, serving my redeemer. Thank you very much. Caroline, it looks like our report on the trolls comment is making it to be deleted. Yeah, sometimes I'm not sure how it works, but you know. Medusa, I think it's your conscience. People prey upon your weaknesses, and that's a big one. I don't understand, Medusa, what you mean. I don't understand. Lady C, when are your lives usually so that I can be ready? It's a tricky one. I do my best to schedule them. Today I couldn't, because my day has been very unpredictable. So normally what I do, when I know how my day is going to go, in the morning, I schedule it. So that if you come on YouTube, you can see at what time and whether or not I have scheduled a live. So that gives you an indication. But it's tricky. I try to do Saturday on YouTube, but I may do some, I don't know. I'm juggling. I'm trying to I've got so much work and so much projects going on, so many things I'm doing, and I want to be both on TikTok and YouTube as well. So I'm sorry. It's difficult for me to predict anything at this point in time. When I have a system, if things stabilize themselves, I may be able to have some sort of routine. But in the meantime, all that I can say is subscribe on YouTube so that when I schedule a live in the morning, you can see it. You know, and so that will give you an indication of what sort of time I'm going to go live. And if you have free time, you can then join. But I can't promise anything yet because, again, I see people at any time, any day. I've got calls, short term notice, and so it's difficult for me to juggle all those things. So, yeah. Maybe if you want to ask me again, some time on my post on my short videos, they ask me, are you going to go live today or tomorrow? If I know, I can reply to them directly. If you happen to be free some days and you want to know if I'm going live on that day, the day before, send me a comment on one of my video, perhaps, and I will reply to you based on what I know then, okay? Alex, but thank you for the question, Lady C. Alex, need to go. Thank you very much for your time, help, information, and calming atmosphere. Thank you so much, Alex. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. Medusa, it's a long story, but it's a big one, okay? Caroline, do Medusa mean it a bit like projection when people project their emotions onto us they prey on your weaknesses? I don't know yet what Medusa means at this point in time. At this point in time, I don't understand yet what she's saying. So maybe I will get more information and that will help me understand. But at this point in time, I don't know. Lady C, thank you. I use YouTube daily, so we'll see your update. Fantastic. Fantastic, Lady C. Fantastic. SGM, DD on shame. What a surprise. Shame is an invention. Of course, I would have never put it that way. That's very alluring and we'll have to reflect on that. Fantastic. Shame is emotional manipulation. That's what it is. It's a system that people have created to keep you under the thumb. You know, don't be lazy, otherwise you're going to burn in hell. And now people are thinking, oh, I must work very hard, I cannot be lazy. And they end up spending their life doing things that they hate, working very hard for others. So basically, they're falling for capitalism because of the invention of the sin of laziness. You know, there's no such thing as laziness. We're either doing things that we enjoy doing, or we are forced to do things that we don't like, and we're being told it's because of you. It's gaslighting. It's because you're lazy. No, it's because I don't want to do this. There you go. And so shame, let go of the shame. Find a way to work on that. Shame, anything that you think about you, it's all a lie. It's an illusion. It's a tradition of suffering that has been passed on. And we need to stop believing this. If we believe in shame, we believe that this is who I am, this is what I do, and it means that I can never change. I often use this as an example. If a parent understands about child psychology, they will never tell the kid, you're bad, you're stupid. They will tell the kid, you have done something bad, you have said something stupid, so that they can change. If we believe that I can never change, I'm doomed, I'm cursed. For my whole life, I'm going to be like that, I'm going to suffer from that. And it's horrible. Shame is a terrible, horrible thing to have. We need to let go of this and move on from the dark ages of psychology, believing in shame. Kay, thank you, Didi. It feels good to be felt understood. Thank you, Kay. But I think people have a good way of blowing things out of proportion, making something out of nothing. We are all different, so some people may do that to you in your perspective, but to them, it may be important. You don't know. We don't know what's going on in other people's lives. You're just assuming, judging, projecting based on things that are to do with your own experience. And this is what we do. It's not your fault. It doesn't mean that you're bad, but we all do that. And if we can actually expand our perspective and realize, this is my experience, this is theirs. And even if they're pretending, people who are pretending, they're doing it for a reason. Why do they need to pretend? Where does that come from? What is getting them the urge to pretend? It still comes from a place that is valid to them. I hope it makes sense. Lynn, we appreciate you using your spare time to help us, Didi. Thank you, Lynn. Your support and wisdom is invaluable. Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you so much. Serving my Redeemer. Ditto to Lynn. Thank you. Thank you very much. Serving my Redeemer. How many of us grew up hearing you should be ashamed of yourself? Yes, it's terrible. It's not their fault either. That's what they've been told. We can only give what we own. And so our parents, our teachers, society, they do that because this is the norm. It's like unkindness, meanness, people who are mean. It's a tradition. We are mean to ourselves because people are mean to us and they are mean to each other. And so everyone does that. We're like, oh, what an idiot. Oh, what a snowflake woke. We criticize, we laugh, we have jokes that are cruel. Jokes that are diminishing minorities. It's cruel, it's unnecessary. But we're used to that, we laugh at that. because it's a tradition of unkindness. We talk to ourselves in a very nasty way because that's the way our parents talk to us. And our parents talk to us like that because that's the way their parents talked to them, and so forth and so on. And that's the way teachers, that's the way society. You look at the news, the media, again, they're criticizing, judging, demonizing people, blowing stories out of proportion, reframing the narrative, and all those things. It's all about getting people angry, frustrated, sad, reacting emotionally. It's a tradition. And so meanness or unkindness is a tradition. Shame is a tradition. And they're all toxic traditions that we want to learn to move away from. This is part of my job. This is what I'm doing. I'm writing a book on that. I want people to realize that we don't need to do that anymore. When people say, it's just a joke, it's just a prank, to me it means your feelings don't matter to me. The fact that I laugh is more important than how you feel about what I say. And it's horrible. We all do this adult tradition. Again, I was the same. I'm not saying that I'm any different. But at some point I realized, I don't want to be like that anymore. This is happening. I'm going to change. And hopefully I'm going to spread the word so that others can change. And at some point, maybe long time after I'm gone, long time after I'm not on this planet anymore, society as a whole may change and the human species will be in a better place instead of fighting against each other for nonsense and feeling bad about themselves. SGM, wow, I loved this one on shame and capitalism. So very true, yes. Yes. Medusa, I heard that so many times. Medusa, I'm supposed to be a slave to a man and make babies. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Patriarchy, of course. I chose not to. I was shamed for it. Yes, no, it's, I get you, yes. Patriarchy, capitalism, patriotism. Those three things are the biggest liars. And so many people believe in that. They really believe in that. Because they need to have a system. And for many, typically some men, it works for them. And so they are going to promote that narrative. But everyone else suffers from that. I was molested, I was ashamed for it. I'm so sorry to hear that. So this is precisely the patriarchy. People being molested, and then we're going to blame the victim instead of blaming the perpetrator. This is why we must change society. Yeah. I'm sorry, Medusa, to hear that. I hope that you're in a better place now. Do you want to talk about this? Serving my Redeemer. Hurt people, yes. Medusa, shame mostly comes from betrayal. I think it's more complicated than that. I can see that maybe in your experience, this is how you have developed shame. But shame is, it's instilled within any step of our growing up. At school, at home, if we go to church, if we have some sort of religious background, shame is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's a conditioning that is constant, that is pervasive, that is very, very deep within society. But we can fight it and let go of it. Caroline, in the social norms on how people should live their lives, I feel that there's a lot of shame and judgment if anyone chooses another way of living. Yes, absolutely. So this is precisely what it exists. Shame and judgment exist to maintain the system of fear, oppression, lies, delusion, all of those things. We all suffer from propaganda and brainwashing, and religion was where it all started. But now, media, television, they're all doing the same. Like, for instance, for a long, long time, including myself, I believe that China was all bad. I had problems with my family, so for me it was easy to hate on the Chinese people. But then I realized it's all propaganda, it's not true. There's a lot of things, and I can understand what happens. And when you use TikTok, you can realize that China is a different place altogether now. And American people will still think China, a bunch of communists, and we have democracy here in America. But they don't have democracy. Again, they believe that they have democracy, but they don't. Who do they have? A buddy, someone even worse. Who are we going to choose? There's nothing. None of them cares for you. And so there's no democracy in China, even though nothing is perfect. But at least they look after their people the best they can. And now the system is working. And so we all, what I'm trying to say is that we all believe the propaganda. and shame is a part of it, and it happens at any level of society. But we can change the narrative by changing ourselves and our immediate circle. Medusa, speak your truth and face it for what it is. Okay, yes, I agree with you, Medusa. Medusa, bad. K. Stevens, yes, my brother was ashamed for his behavior. I saw the ugliness in them, not him. Okay, thank you for supporting, for standing for your brother. I refused to join the mob mentality. Fantastic, good on you. As he was labeled as BPD, the narrative. Okay. The thing is that maybe he's got BPD. I have BPD, so I know it is a thing. However, the shame is to think that he's doing it on purpose. He's not trying hard enough to change. And this is the shame and the judgment that is bad. We should accept that some people do suffer from BPD, and when we have BPD, more often than not, it comes from trauma. So we never choose this anyway. We suffer from that. And so if we can see people from a different perspective, they need our help, they need our compassion, we need our patience, then we can do something good, as opposed to just judge them. But good on you, Kay, for standing for your brother. Now I remember you. We had a conversation, didn't we? I think, about your brother, and you didn't know your adoptive brother who has BPD, and you were not sure how to deal with him. So good on you. Thank you for standing for your brother. He's an orphan. He needs you more than anyone else. I think that's true, isn't it? Medusa, I'm fighting it with every fiber of my being. Peace on earth is my goal. Okay, good on you. Fantastic, Medusa. Let's do this together. The army of love. PHMLB. What do you think about the DBR? Gosh, you like your acronyms. Let me find out. DBR. It doesn't say anything. It's a brand. Do you mean DBT? I know there's a DBR therapy. Okay, I get it. I found something. Yes, there is. Deep brain reorienting. Is that what you mean? It's a trauma therapy developed by Frank Corrigan that focuses on the physiological responses to trauma, particularly in the brainstem. It aims to access and process traumatic experiences by tracking the original sequence of physiological responses that occurred when the deep brain was alerted to a threat or an attachment disruption. It is a gentle, non-invasive, and body-oriented approach that can be helpful for healing trauma, attachment, and developmental wounds. It's the first time that I hear about DBR, so I wouldn't know what to comment about it. It sounds very interesting, but I don't know how they would do that. So I don't know. What do you think about it? I don't have any thought about this at this point in time, I'm afraid. Do you have any feedback about this? Do you know anyone who's had this? Do you want to share it with us, perhaps? Medusa, hear with your heart, listen with your soul. That will tell your truth. We will keep democracy in America. You don't have democracy, Medusa. You believe that you do, but you don't have freedom. You don't have... If you believe in that, I'm not going to go against you. If you believe in that, I appreciate that you believe in that, and it's okay. I was just giving an example. I never want to convince anyone of anything. I'm just presenting what I believe, and hopefully we can get along on some things. If we don't agree with that, it's okay, it's no problem. Medusa, you are very wise. I like you. Okay, thank you, Medusa. I was not sure. Caroline, the only thing is that China needs laws for animals so animals can be more safe there. So again, it's propaganda. It's not true. There are some places, but it's the fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. Most of China, there are people who love their animals. It's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction that has been used by the propaganda. And I used to believe that as well. There are some places that are horrible, but it's like there are some places in Spain where we do some bullfighting, where we do some games where we rip the head of chickens alive. There are atrocities everywhere. The reason we are talking so much about this happening in China, and it's horrible, but that's because propaganda. America needed to have the bad guys, the communists, and so they talk about it a lot. And when I grew up all my life as a child, was like, do you eat dog? That sort of things. I grew up listening to that, and it's true that it happens in one part. I think it's Yunnan, and they're working on that, they're changing that. And who are fighting that? Chinese people, right? And so things are changing, things are getting better, but it's not just China, everywhere. In the UK, you've got fox hunting. It's quite horrible as well. Bunch of people, hundreds of dogs, one little fox being torn apart. You get injustice like that everywhere. Cockfights, dog fights in the Philippines, wherever, so many places who are doing that. And so it's true that there's some places and we're working on that, we don't want this to happen anymore, and it's going to change. But it's not representative of China at all. I know personally some friends of mine who are Chinese who are fighting this. So there you go. I hope you understand, Caroline. Medusa. Emoji faces with some heart. Thank you. SGM. Now, here I get a new perspective on narrative. I've never thought before that I could change mine. Now I do. Fantastic. Thank you, SGM. SGM, how happily puzzled am I now? I don't know. I hope a lot. Okay, thank you, Didi, for standing up for him too. My adopted dad would appreciate your compassion and time. He was a patient, loving man. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Thank you. Okay, I'm coming to the end of the thread for the first time today. I'm going to have a bit of coffee. I had a coffee. I didn't have a single sip. So let me have some coffee. Lady C. There are laws to protect animals in the UK. Many countries have some. But there's also a lot of people who are still experimenting on animals. And again, I was talking about fox hunting. And so, yes, there are laws in the UK for some things, but not for everything. And what I'm trying to say is that every country has got their problems, right? But the narrative that Chinese people eat their dogs, it's been blown out of proportion. It's bad, it's horrible, but it's only in a very specific place in China, and they want to change this. So that's what I'm trying to say. In France, they have foie gras. They torture gays to get the foie gras, and it's bloody horrible. And it's accepted and supported by law. Medusa. I know. Lady C, there are good and bad people everywhere. Yes, my point precisely. Thank you so much. Yes. Medusa, that I was not supposed to be in the sentence. I am not good. I think that we can be good for one moment every now and then. When we are meditating, learning how to observe things without judging anything and trying to zoom out and see the bigger picture, we can, for one split second, experience the world from the perspective of God, as opposed to from my perspective as the ego, as the person, as the human being, as me. Lynn, it's so wrong to be against a country because of a minority of people. Not all British people like fox hunting or Spanish who like bullfighting. I'm glad you're helping to set the record straight. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, indeed. People are just people. Whenever there's a narrative about something, it's just because, again, propaganda. They want to touch people emotionally so that they can hate a whole group of people, right? As in with Islamophobia. Or everyone who's Muslim, they hate women, they beat their wives. It's not true. It's not true at all. There are some places in the world that are like that, but it's not because they are Muslims. It's because the country is using the religion to do this. Right? It's like comparing KKK with Christianity. It's two different things. It's not the same. There's the extremists, and there are the people who are not extremist. And they are the majority in any cases. Medusa, we all must find our own truth. I think that we're all in this journey called life to do this precisely. We're here because we want to find some truth about everything, right? So I would replace personally, I must, with I am on that journey. We all are. You are, I am, every single one of us in our own ways. Caroline, bless your friends in China who are fighting this. Yes, in England there are bigger dogs who are tested on painful experiments. They are suffering horribly and scream. So there you go. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Kay, thank you for educating us about your homeland. It's not my homeland. I was born in France. I think what you mean is my connection are only genetic. I've been to Hong Kong a couple of times, but I've never been to China. Um, I was born in France and I lived in France up till I came here in London. And so it's not my homeland at all. I don't know nothing about it. What I do know is some people that I'm connected with who are talking to me and telling me about those things, right? But I understand why you would assume that. It's more about maybe my spiritual homeland, right? I would appreciate this. Actually, I understand that because there's a lot of things about Eastern philosophies and spirituality that I do enjoy, and so maybe my spiritual homeland would be more appropriate, I think. But thank you anyway, Kay. I've seen beautiful pictures of it, and I wish I could go. People eat weird stuff here too, but unnecessary death is evil for sport. Yes. So this is more about the human nature when it comes to food, when it comes to everything. We're all different, but I believe that some level of globalism is going to teach people how to all go in the same direction and start to move away from any cruel traditions. Medusa, I love everyone and I love the difference in us all and the oneness at the same time. Okay, good on you, Medusa, if you can do this. It's not an easy thing to do. Caroline, I don't hate a whole country, but I don't like that it is happening and I'm against it. Of course, I am as well. I'm against. Don't think I'm saying is that sometimes it's important to realize that when we say certain things, it may come across as different. So I'm not saying that you are. I'm not sure. I'm sure that you're not. But some people may say that in the assumption that all Chinese eat dogs for breakfast, and this is just not true. This is again based on hatred and racist propaganda. I know that you're not doing this. Let me be clear on that. But it's just that I have to say this just in case some people may misinterpret this. That's all. Medusa, I am Cherokee with other blood lines. Oh, wow, amazing. My Cherokee blood is the dominant one. Good on you. Good on you. I have a great level of empathy with Native American Indians because of everything that I represent and because of what happened to them since America. And also, I appreciate a lot of their spiritual belief. I appreciate all the ancient civilizations' belief system, spiritual belief system. I believe that there's so much truth in all of those things that now we're starting to actually be able to science. So it's all very fascinating. Kay Stevens, respect to you, Medusa. Yes. Lynn, will bid you a pleasant evening, Didi. I'm going to see a local theatre group play with my son and his partner. Found my tribe. Okay, fantastic. Good on you. Good on you. I think I'm not going to stay very long either because I've been here for a little while now. But enjoy your evening, Lynn, and see you next. And thank you for your interaction with us today. Medusa, kissing face emoji, something like that. Drip Vader, don't have a question. I've been listening for a while. You are doing God's work. Keep it up, mate. Thank you so much, Drip Vader. Medusa, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Kay Stevens, thank you, Didi. Great conversation. Thank you. Serving my Redeemer. Get a macroscope and you will find life teeming everywhere. A single drop of pond water telescope show us more than 1 billion similar galaxies. Wow. Yes, it's true. Yeah. This is why I believe that we shouldn't worry about much things. If we can have an idea of the big picture, we can realize that we only have our experience as a human being. But if we zoom in, indeed, in one drop of water, you have a whole universe. Right? And you can zoom in even furthermore. You get the atoms, you get whatever we call it, even smaller. And it works the other way around. If you zoom out, now you've got galaxies, you've got hugeness, vastness that our brain cannot comprehend. And so basically what I'm saying is that we only experience our life, our dimension, our reality. But if you can realize that it's only one thing, it's not that as important. Inside of your body, we have colonies, trillions of bacteria and germs on our skin, in our gut, it's everywhere. We're literally a planet. I think, I don't know how much, but I think, I forgot, I think 30% of us is not us. or even more. I need to find the numbers again. I think Bruce Lipton said that, or even more. And basically, what we don't realize is that inside of us, there are some bacteria who are living in an ecosystem. They have a society, they have others they get along with, they don't get along with. It's all happening there. And those bacteria, they have no idea that they live in my body. And so we don't know what else we are into. And so there's always a different perspective to look at things. And I find this fascinating. This is bringing us back to the conversation of quantum realities. But even without the bacteria, if you look at an insect, the life of an insect, their realities is so different to ours. They don't know, but in the grass, for them, that's all they know. There's so much things happening that we don't know of. And so, if you can relativize everything, that can help us expand our mind and not suffer that much when we realize that none of those things are that important. We're just experiencing a reality. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but anyway, it came out, so hopefully you can make something out of this. Caroline, yes, I think the other person who commented before thought that I did not like the whole country, but it was just that I don't like people who don't treat animals good. Okay. So we're on the same wavelength. SGM, great encounter. Didi, thank you so much. Thank you, SGM. Medusa, I'm pretty close with Mother Earth, and I can tell you all she is living a being. Many spirits live in her. She is so much more than we can comprehend. I agree with you. So again, we are a planet, and planet Earth is also a being. We are the microbes. But if you zoom out, there's more as well. And zoom in, it happens at all levels. Caroline, I'm against animal abuse for all countries. Okay. Guys, I think I'm going to go now. Thank you, everyone, for your interaction. It was an absolute pleasure. I thought it was going to be empty and lonely, but it ended up being quite lively. So thank you, guys, for everything. I will come back. I don't know when. Again, I'm doing my best. Just follow me and subscribe, please. I will appreciate this. But also, if you subscribe, then if you are interested in that, in the morning, you will be able to find out whether or not I have scheduled a live in the day, and that can give you an idea if you are free, so that you can join. Okay, I am also on TikTok, so I use a lot TikTok and YouTube, and that's it. And if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my bio on YouTube. Just click on it. It takes you to my website. And from there, if you're interested, you can send me an email and we can organize a free discovery call. Okay. Medusa, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much, Medusa. Same here. Lady C, I have an appointment with you Thursday afternoon. All right, you are Lady C. I know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but fantastic. I'm glad that you're here. I'm looking forward to that. I did send you an email. I hope that you get it. I'm really looking forward to this. Things are going to happen. Thank you so much, Lady C. Yes, keep it up. Be excited. We're going to create some magic. Caroline, it's on Saturdays, but it is different times, the live. Yes, I tend to do my best to come on Saturdays, but I may change or I may add some other days depending on my availability. Caroline, goodbye, Didi. Have a good evening. Thank you so much. Same to you. Serving my Redeemer. Thanks again so much. Stay shining, everybody. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Take care. Look after yourself. And remember to be kind to yourself. Okay? And so now, bye-bye.